The transport ship drifted toward the central palace of the Solari Dominion, its metal frame humming as it slowed for docking. Inside the passenger cabin sat a young human named Liam, his hands folded tightly as he tried to control the nerves rising in his chest. He had signed up for the job because the pay was good and because the recruiter promised that he would only be providing basic assistance to the ruler of Solari. The recruiter said nothing unusual about the Queen, except that she needed someone patient. Liam took the job because he needed a fresh start, and nothing sounded more refreshing than leaving Earth behind for a contract that would keep him fed, paid, and useful. The palace guards led him through high crystal corridors that glowed with inner light. The Solari were known throughout the outer clusters for their architecture made of living crystal, shaped through resonance energy rather than tools. As Liam walked, he noticed the walls responded to nearby footsteps with faint shimmering patterns. Every sound produced color. Every breath lingered in the air. It was beautiful and unsettling at the same time. They stopped before a chamber guarded by two tall Solari soldiers. Their armor seemed grown rather than forged and glowed with soft gold. One guard pushed open the enormous door with a single gesture. The crystal reacted with a quiet pulse and slid aside. Inside rested the Queen. Liam had expected someone imposing, someone enormous or fearsome, as the stories described alien monarchs. Instead, the Queen of Solari, named Reyna, was calm and elegant, sitting on a raised platform surrounded by streams of shimmering air. Her form was mostly humanoid, though her skin carried a soft silver tone that shifted gently like moonlight. On water, her hair floated without wind, moving in slow waves as if sculpted by her emotions. Her eyes were deep gray, mysterious yet warm. When she turned toward Liam, she spoke with a voice that sounded like two tones blended into one. "Welcome. Liam, I thank you for accepting this duty. I hope our time will be peaceful and helpful to both of us." He bowed lightly, awkward but sincere. "I'm honored to be here, Your Majesty." She laughed gently. "Titles can be left outside the chamber. Call me Reyna when we are speaking privately." "It is easier." He nodded, unsure how close he should. "Stand." She noticed his uncertainty and motioned for him to sit. The crystal reshaped itself into a small seat as he approached. Liam sat slowly and felt a warm pulse travel under him like a faint vibration. The entire palace seemed alive. They spoke for some time as she explained his responsibilities. She required someone to help maintain her health routines, someone to accompany her during the resonance cycles that helped regulate her energy levels, and someone who could speak clearly to her without fear. Many Solari advisors were too cautious, too formal. She wanted a voice that did not tremble, someone who could tell her the truth even when it was uncomfortable. Liam listened carefully and found himself relaxing. Despite the grandeur around them, she behaved with a gentle calmness. He began to see her less as a monarch and more as a person who carried a heavy role. By the end of their first meeting, he felt confident that he could handle the job. His new residence was a small but comfortable room within the palace. The window showed a view of glowing towers, rising like giant candles. The sky was a soft shade of blue during the day and turned violet at night, illuminated by two moons that cast long shadows across the crystal landscape. His routine settled quickly. Each morning he met Reyna in her private chamber for the resonance cycle. The process involved guiding streams of soft light around her while she meditated. He did not fully understand how it worked, but she assured him that human steadiness made the energy more stable. She explained that Solari resonance reacted strongly to emotional instability. Humans, with their grounded physical forms, were much better at controlling the flow. Over time, Liam noticed small moments when Reyna seemed distracted. He caught her staring at the stars for long stretches. He noticed her pause in thought during their sessions. When he asked if she was feeling tired, she gave vague answers and brushed his concerns aside. She was graceful and composed, but something tugged at her beneath the surface. One afternoon he found her in the garden chamber, standing beside a floating pool of glowing water. She held a piece of living crystal that pulsed with weak light. When she realized he was there, she quickly hid it behind her. "I apologize," Liam said, trying to back away. "I did not mean to intrude." She sighed and motioned him closer. "No, stay. It is time you know something." He stepped forward quietly. The garden chamber smelled of sweet minerals and warm air. The floating pool gently rippled with her breath. Reina held out the crystal she had tried to hide. It was dim, only flickering gently, like a candle close to extinguishing. "This holds the memory of my mother," she said softly. "It is fading faster than I expected." Liam understood instantly. Memory crystals of the Solari were delicate, tied to the emotional state of the keeper. If the keeper faced distress or loneliness, the crystal weakened. Reina looked away toward the pool. "I miss her more than I allow myself to admit. A queen must always appear steady. A leader cannot show longing, or the people fear instability. Yet I find myself struggling." Liam stepped closer. "You can talk to me. I won't repeat anything." Her eyes softened. "I believe you, and here lies the truth I kept hidden. My secret longing is not just for the memory of my mother. I long for connection outside my duty. I long for a life where every bond is not political or bound by expectation. I long for someone who stands near me because they choose to, not because they serve me." She paused, searching his face for judgment. Liam felt the weight of her words. He had thought she was simply tired or stressed from leadership. He had not realized she carried loneliness so deeply. "I do choose to stand near you," he said quietly. "I'm here because I want to help." She closed her eyes and breathed out slowly. He felt the air ripple around them, as if the chamber itself relaxed. From that day on, their time together changed. She spoke more openly. She asked him questions about Earth, curious about simple things. She wanted to hear about rain, about the sound of crowded streets, about music played on old devices rather than resonance crystals. She enjoyed hearing about ordinary life because it reminded her that existence did not have to revolve around the throne. Liam told her about the markets he grew up near, the smell of warm bread in the morning, and the busy roads where people shouted and laughed. Raina listened with quiet joy, absorbing every detail as if they were precious treasures. During resonance cycles, she allowed her emotions to surface more freely. Liam noticed that the streams of light responded with greater stability. Her openness made the energy smoother. The palace advisors were surprised that her cycles improved so much. They believed Liam brought rare skill. In truth, he simply offered her honest company. Weeks turned into months, and the bond between them grew stronger. She asked him to accompany her during more private moments, such as evening walks through the quiet halls. Liam found himself looking forward to these moments, not because it was part of his contract, but because he genuinely enjoyed her presence. Yet as their closeness increased, whispers grew among the palace attendants. They noticed how often he was near her. They noticed how she smiled more when he entered the room. They noticed the way her energy harmonized uniquely around him. The Solari valued their queen above all else, and any unusual influence over her raised suspicion. One evening, after a long day of governing disputes, Raina invited Liam to sit beside her on a balcony overlooking the glowing city. The night air was cool, and the twin moons shone brightly. The city below hummed with gentle resonance waves, each building casting slow ripples of light. Raina spoke softly. "Liam, there is something I fear. The council has started to question your presence." They believe humans should remain advisors only in structured roles. They fear that you being close to me could change my decisions. Liam felt a pang of worry. Do you want me to leave? She looked at him with firm certainty. No, you have helped me more than anyone in this palace. I will not cast you out, but I fear what choices I will have to make if the council pushes further. He thought for a moment before speaking. I am here to support you. If staying harms your stability as queen, I will step back, but I will never abandon you completely. She turned fully toward him. That is exactly my dilemma. I do not want you to step back. The wind carried her words through the balcony. Liam felt a quiet spark in his chest. It was not romantic in nature, but something deeper, a connection based on trust and shared truth. She longed for an anchor beyond duty, and he longed to feel needed. Their conversation ended with a silent agreement. They would continue forward. Together, despite the tension around them, the following week brought new challenges. A neighboring faction attempted to disrupt a trade route. Energy shortages threatened the outer colonies. The council pressured Reyna to adopt stricter policies. Her stress rose again, but now she shared it with Liam openly. He became her steady presence, the person she turned to when the crown felt heavy. During a particularly turbulent resonance cycle, the streams of energy surged uncontrollably. The entire chamber shook as unstable waves crashed through the air. Reyna struggled to control them, her breath rapid. Liam stepped closer, remembering her instructions on grounding. He reached out with Ka,